Hi folks, I wanted to show you some of the newer discoveries in Marfa, Texas. These images are from Google Earth and from the Google Earth Pro edition. I found that after looking through all of the satellite imagery, Google Earth is the only really reliable high definition resolution. That being said, this is the wolf that I've completed now, and I will show you why these lines are the way they are today. This wolf measures 7 miles high and 4 miles wide. Now this, you can see this up here, it's a head, and there's something here. It's a darker section of Earth. And this is a lighter section of Earth. This is the way it looks when you enhance the color, saturate the color, and enhance the sharpness of the image. Darkens up a little, and this becomes more visible. There's something else here too. And it's spotted. I wonder what that could be. Ah, it's a giraffe. Now that giraffe measures 3/4 of a mile high, 3/4 of a mile wide by almost 2 miles high. I found this to be a camel. This is almost a square, 6 miles by 6 miles. And that's about the same for this. I'm calling it a goat because I used to help take care of Nubian goats that looked a lot like this. The face comes out to here, and the goat itself is 6 1/4 miles horizontally. And it's almost 5 miles vertically. And we're back here. In Marfa. Let me show you why this wolf is exactly the way I say it is. Have you ever seen rows of vegetation when it's not farm? Now we come over here, and this looks like it's raked. When you zoom in on this, these lines become even more visible. They're all over the place. Apparently supposed to represent different kinds of hair on the wolf itself. Now the tail's a little questionable, but I think I've got it right. Now let me take you to the camel. Now this is really something else, because you can only get these images on Google Earth, and thank goodness for Google Earth. Now I have seen this as a 2-humped camel. You can see the other hump here, and it's done in mosaics. This is a different kind of earth than this. It's a darker earth, and look at the artwork here. This makes Nazca look like cave drawings. Let me take you to the giraffe. Spotted giraffe. This stuff cannot be seen unless you are aerially looking at it from altitude. Now let me take you through some of the really, really neat things about this place. I want you to see this. This is not a satellite imagery. This is actually the land. The land is two different kinds of land. And they've done some kind of a correction to get this particular coloration. This extends all the way up into this section up here. It's a total of 22 miles long. Let me come back up to Marfa. And I just want to show you what it looks like from another satellite image. Now this is, look how they've changed the color. You can see the lining itself, and you can tell that some of it is mosaic, squared off, and you would think this would be farming, but it's not. Look what happens when you try to zoom in. You can't even see the camel here. You can see that there's a coloring problem with this area and this area. Why is it green and this is black, etc.? It doesn't make sense. Google Earth remains the best way to get high-definition images. And let me show you what the people who did this land did. They used lining just like in Nazca, only much more complicated. And they've also used different kinds of earth to make different kinds of art. Now, I have to challenge anybody to think that this is not a set of multiple faces. And when you get down and you start tracing the lines, you realize just how intricate they've actually done this work. There are no amount of North American Indians present at the time that this could have been made. This extends all the way into Fort Davis, by the way, and it comes all the way down into the Big Bend National Forest. This whole area needs to be protected almost immediately. You can see that this is a style of Nazca lines using central locations that are exceptionally well marked. These are not households. These are all different. Households are marked usually the same. Most of the human faces you'll find, they look in a sort of a summer solstice looking position, and that's how you find the human faces in this whole thing. Look at this. Look at this intricate marking. This is actually a pharaoh's face. You can see the chin here, and she looks a little more like this. There are markings on her cheek, and there is some kind of an Egyptian plaque also. When you trace all of these lines, you come up with a bird representation out here. It's amazing. This is one of the faces, and this has a colored box. I have to think that there's something buried there. These have to be burial mounds. These different colorings are actually tiled off areas. They've actually used different earths. So let's not be confused with this being some kind of an Indian art. This is not. This is in the same frame of mind that Nazca was done. Now these lines, these dashed lines, they tend to be an indication of what to follow, and often they will have arrows pointing in the direction they actually want you to go, as if they have a point, a first part of a sketch in their history that they want you to follow. And I want you to see these lines for what they are. There's always a well attached. These lines are a solar representation. See the arrow here? A lot of these lines actually have arrows right involved with the line itself. Although they've been used as roads, these are not. Fortunately, they were easy for the Texans to build roads on top of, and they did not damage this place. This incredible area. Now I want to show you this section real quick. Above Marfa, because this section of Nazca lines extends all the way into Fort Davis, all the way past the U.S. border, and all the way over to Alpine. There's Fort Davis. There's Alpine. And the Big Bend National Park is right here. There's Presidio. But look, this is what first drew me, was this great, what has to be a solar representation done by people who revered the sun. And it's all over the place. This is just incredible work. So complicated, I have to say, that it is as complicated as the Great Pyramid at Giza itself. This needs to be protected immediately, if not sooner. This line is 22 miles long, all in a form of some kind of a correction. They've got staples in the land, holding it together, mosaics. And just like the wolf I showed you earlier, real quickly, this is a horse. It's hard to deny that this is not a horse. This is a buffalo representation. This is really neat. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different angles so that this can be seen from the air. This dorsal fin seems to rise as you move around it. See the tail fin? The horse and buffalo are about a couple of miles long apiece, and the dolphins